Well, I guess it's that time again where we are in the season of Nintendo Directs. Obviously, if you're aware, February is here, and February is the month that we typically always get a Nintendo Direct. After what? I think the last Direct we had was September. So now we're in the season where we're getting those Nintendo Directs regularly in the year. We know we have another Nintendo Direct on the way in April that is focused solely on the Nintendo Switch 2, and maybe there's a Direct in June. I don't know if there's going to be one this year, but the point is, we're in Direct season right now, and now is an interesting time to be a Nintendo fan, because we still have the Nintendo Switch still out. We don't know what's happening with the Switch this year. The only thing we know is that Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming out for the Switch, and that's next month. After that, we have no idea what is going on with the Nintendo Switch this year. And with that being said, I believe that this Nintendo Direct that is coming in the month of February will more than likely be the last Nintendo Switch focused Direct. Everything going forward is going to be Switch 2 focused. So this could be a really huge Nintendo Direct for multiple reasons. And today I wanted to go over my predictions of what I believe was going to be revealed at this February Nintendo Direct. We're going to have the tinfoil hat on. We're probably going to be wrong on things. We're probably going to be right on things. But don't be one of those people that's like, yo, this guy has high expectations. We're just speculating here. And I have a lot of predictions here. I know some's going to be right, some's going to be wrong. Let's just get right into it. I believe that this Nintendo Direct is going to be a huge Direct because I believe they're going to show everything that is coming out for the year of 2025 when it comes to the regular old Nintendo Switch. I made a video a few weeks ago where I told you that I don't think that the Nintendo Switch is actually going to die out. I think Nintendo is going to still produce games for this system for another 2 years after the Switch 2 is revealed. However, I don't think we're going to see them talk about the regular Switch much into these upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 Directs. So I think they want to lay all their cards out right now in this Direct, showing everything that is going to come out this year in the year of 2025. So I'm expecting a lot of first party here. Now, I'm not expecting crazy games. I have a list of games of what I'm expecting, and it's a lot of remasters. I don't think we're getting any more original Nintendo Switch games when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. We're going to get remasters / remakes. With that being said, let's drop into my first prediction. I think that the Nintendo Direct is going to open up with Kirby Planet Robobot. They're gonna call it Kirby Planet Robobot Deluxe. They'll probably add some sort of content. They're gonna focus a lot talking about this game. It's probably gonna come out in the month of May if I was to guess. And I think there is a possibility they could release an amiibo along with it. Obviously, Nintendo likes to do amiibos every now and then. We have no amiibo released as of right now for the year of 2025. And I do know they do like to make unique amiibos if the opportunity is there. And I feel like they could go back to how they did the Detective Pikachu amiibo, where it was this giant amiibo, but make a Kirby one in the Robo suit. I feel like there's a good possibility they could be doing that with the fact that there is nothing coming out for amiibo yet. And I feel like amiibo is going to be something that will be utilized with the Switch 2. And I think a Kirby, like giant Kirby amiibo, would sell really well, and I think it's just the perfect game to market that with. Obviously, there's going to be more content in this deluxe version. Really don't know what else they're going to add, but I expect that's going to be a big thing that they're pushing. I know a lot of the Kirby fans talk about that being one of the best Kirby games of all time, so Nintendo probably is going to talk about that game for a few minutes here and really market it well. I'm expecting this to come out in May with that $60 price tag. You know Nintendo loves them $60 ports. Now, I put this down on my list. I don't think there's going to be a game announcement for this. Maybe there could be, but I do feel like it is going to be mentioned how that the 40th anniversary of Mario is approaching us. And I feel like they're just really going to talk about how the year of Mario, basically, just maybe they'll show us a logo of the 40th anniversary, kind of like how they had that logo for the 35th anniversary of Mario. They're going to talk about it a little bit. They might show something here. If they're going to show a game, I think it's going to be a port. And if it's a port, I think it's more than likely going to be Super Mario Galaxy 2 that arrives to the Nintendo Switch. It is the most questionable thing of why that game never hit the Switch. It's a big mystery, honestly, because Nintendo doesn't even talk about the existence of Mario Galaxy 2 Even when they had that 35th anniversary Nintendo Direct for Mario, Galaxy 2 was not in their little showcase of Mario games that they were highlighting. So that game is kind of like something that Nintendo is trying to forget. It's just a mystery, and maybe with people talking about how they want this game onto the Nintendo Switch, they'll go ahead and put this on the Switch. I don't know. But if a game is to be announced when it comes to Mario, I'm expecting Mario Galaxy 2. I believe it is finally time that we get Metroid Prime 2 onto the Nintendo Switch. This is one that we had a feeling was coming to the Nintendo Switch right after Metroid Prime 1 remastered happened, but nothing came of it. And I think now is the time we're going to be getting that, as we are approaching Prime 4 coming out at some point into 2025. My prediction is that that is a cross-gen title, and I'm sure they're going to show Metroid Prime 4 here at this Direct at some point, whether that's the end or in the middle of the Direct, or maybe they do a combination of showing Metroid Prime 4 off, and then right after that, they announce that Prime 2 is on the eShop, available for download right now. And then they'll probably say that the physical copy will come out 2 weeks from now. Now, the question is, what does this mean for Prime 3? Now, I do know that there is speculation that they're going to release both Metroid Prime 2 and 3 into one game. I just think it's weird to do that. I don't see that. I think that would have made sense if they had 1, 2, and 3. They could have just re-released the trilogy, Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, something like that. But I still think that these games are going to be individually released. I think that's part of the reason why Metroid Prime 1 was $40. I think Nintendo wants to release each game for $40 each. That way, they're making $120 instead of $60 for releasing the whole trilogy. I feel like that's what's happening, and I don't see Prime 3 being released into a dual pack. If it is shown off, I think it's going to be separate. I think Prime 2 and 3 are going to be separate games that will be available for download. I think Prime 3 is going to happen at some point, but I think that is going to be something that happens later this year. Maybe it's something that Nintendo tweets like, hey, Metroid Prime 3 is on the way, something like that. I don't see it having a duo pack like people are suggesting. It doesn't make sense to me since the first one was released separately, standalone. And with Prime 4, you know, I feel like this could be the time that they might announce that it's a cross-gen title. They might not want to mention the fact that it's a cross-gen title just yet until Nintendo Switch 2 Direct that happens in April. Maybe in April, that's where you see Prime 4. We do know that Nintendo has confirmed that Prime 4 is still coming out in 2025. So, I don't know, I do think there's a chance that Metroid Prime 4 could be here, but I also feel like there's a possibility they might hold off on showing that until April, because like I said before, I have said it since 2017, that game was going to be a cross-gen title for the next Nintendo console, and I am so close to being right on this. If I am correct about this, bro, I'm just saying the tinfoil hat that I have, it's got some crazy magical powers. Now, at some point, they're going to show third-party games in this Direct. I don't feel like there's going to be too many third-party games here, though, if I'm being honest. With the fact that the Switch 2 is on the way, I feel like a lot of these third-party developers are going to be holding out their games till the Switch 2 drops, because obviously we've seen third-party developers sometimes struggle developing for the Nintendo Switch, and they might want to wait for their game to come out with the Switch 2, especially within that first year, because people are going to be hungry for Switch games. They're going to buy whatever they see. If it's got that Switch 2 logo, they're going to buy that game. So they might hold off to releasing their game until the Switch 2 comes out. But I do have a few suggestions of what I think we could be seeing for the third-party games. They'll probably show some updates of current games, maybe something like Among Us, whatever type of stuff that you see regularly in these Nintendo Directs. They might get some updates that they show off. But I do think we're still going to get something pretty cool here. I believe that Yakuza could be shown off here. I haven't played the series. I know we got the first one brought over to the Switch from my understanding. So I'm thinking the sequel will come to the Switch, because I feel like Sega worked on more than just one Yakuza game to come to the Switch. It would surprise me if they weren't doing that. And, you know, that could also be something that gets shadow dropped. They announced that the upcoming Yakuza, whatever the next one is in the series that's out for the Switch, is out available right now for purchase, and I think that will be shown off here. The Yakuza games that was already on the Switch was super successful. Sega talked about it was a major success for them, so we're definitely going to see more of that series on Nintendo Switch. I think there's a possibility it could happen right here in this Direct. This one is a little bit of a reach, but I still think it's possible. And that is the fact that Sonic Heroes. We know that Sonic Heroes is going to be the game that comes out this year when it comes to Sonic releases. Due to the leaks, we just know that that's for sure happening. We're going to get the announcement of Sonic Heroes at some point. And if history repeats itself, I'm pretty sure Shadow Generations was announced around the time this year, last year basically. I feel like we could get the announcement of Sonic Heroes pretty soon. I know there's a State of Play coming up, rumored to be during Valentine's week. That could be shown off there. We obviously don't have an announcement of a Nintendo Direct yet, so maybe it gets shown off at the Direct. Obviously Sonic is a big deal for Nintendo audience. I think Sega has even said that Sonic games sell the best on Nintendo platforms. So maybe they would want to just announce Sonic Heroes is coming to the Switch right here, right now, in this Direct. I know that that's definitely still going to come to the Switch, even with the Switch 2 coming out. This Sonic Heroes game is probably coming out fall of this year. They're still going to put it on the regular Switch. The Switch is still going to get supported. They are going to want to put that on the Switch rather than the Switch 2. They might promote that it runs better on Switch 2, but it's still going to come to the standalone Switch. And I think that could be shown off here, and they might announce what's new, what's the new content coming to Sonic Heroes. I feel like this is a good possibility. And then, of course, some sort of third-party reel that they're going to show off, just showing a few seconds of each upcoming third-party game coming to the Switch, whether that's from an indie dev or just any random third-party game. I just don't think there's going to be too much third-party here with the fact that the Switch 2 is happening at some point. I mean, I know that Metal Gear Solid, the collection, the second part, we know that's in development. Maybe that gets shown off here, but I don't know. I feel like something like that, they're going to wait for the Switch 2, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We might see Konami here. They might be like, yeah, Metal Gear Solid, Volume 2, it's coming. Switch 1. I don't know. Now, I feel like it is a safe bet. Well, I can't say it's a safe bet because I think every single year since, I want to say 2018, all of us have assumed that this was coming to the Switch, and it never came to the Switch. And I don't know what's changed now to where I still think it's coming to the Switch, because now it just seems more than likely it's not coming to the Switch. But it's one of those things that, why is this game not on the Switch? It does make sense for it to be on the Switch. And maybe it's because they were waiting till they ran out of original titles to release this. And that game is Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. I do believe that this was supposed to come to the Switch a long time ago, and for whatever reason, it never dropped. And now is the perfect time to release it if Nintendo is just dropping remaster/remakes. We obviously almost have the entire Wii U library on the Switch. Now that Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming in March, I would say the only thing that people are really wanting now is Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. I do think that they're gonna sell that as a bundled package, and that will come out at some point this year. $60, I don't expect anything new to it, and it's gonna sell like crazy because people are gonna want those games. It made sense for these games to come out a long time ago, especially with the Zelda anniversary. I thought it was gonna for sure come during that, but nothing ever happened, and I think now is the time it comes this year. It just makes sense. If Nintendo is just going to focus on releasing remastered games, they're gonna look at their Wii catalog, they're gonna look at the Wii U catalog, they're gonna look at the 3DS catalog, and they're gonna see that the thing that everyone really wanted was that particular remaster. And it just makes sense to now have it finally here. Could be wrong, but if it's not here at this Direct, I think the dream might actually be dead for those games coming to the Switch. I know some of y'all are probably thinking I'm saying too many games are gonna be here. Just looking at the history of Nintendo, I do believe that this system is going to be supported for 2 more years. If we look at what happened with the 3DS during the Switch, that's exactly what happened, and everything that came after that was just remasters and remakes. So I think Nintendo is going to be taking a page out of the 3DS book. Since the Switch is such a huge console, 150 million units sold, they don't want to throw away that fan base already when the Switch 2 comes out. And on top of that, these games can help the Switch 2 because they'll be backwards compatible for Switch 2. So if anything, everyone wins here. It's extra games for the Switch 2 and games that probably would have never came to the Switch 2 if it wasn't for the Switch still being supported. I look at it as bonus games for the Switch 2. With that being said, they're going to do their whole thing at the end where they have one more thing to show off. And I've thought about this. What could be the one more game that they hype up here? Obviously, there's F-Zero. That would make sense to get remastered. F-Zero GX, or even remade. Obviously, it's been noticeable that Nintendo has been starting to bring more and more games from the GameCube library over to the Nintendo Switch. They also might throw a curveball and show us something very unexpected at the end. I feel like Custom Robo is one that could be a possibility as a remake. It's a random one, but I think that series could start to be used more in the future. I don't know, we'll see. But I think the more likely thing that ends the Direct off will probably be a Fire Emblem remake. This Fire Emblem remake, I don't know much about the series, but I do know that this remake got leaked, I want to say like back in 2020. I might be wrong, but this thing has been rumored and leaked for the last few years, and I think this could be one of the last like big Switch games that come to the system. And with it being a remake, it makes sense for it to be Fire Emblem. The Fire Emblem has had a lot of games on the Switch. That series continues to get bigger and bigger each console, and I think that could be our last thing that gets shown off at this Nintendo Direct. I think it's going to be a remake at the end. I'm thinking either F-Zero GX, Custom Robo, or Fire Emblem. Those are the three things that I'm thinking here. And I know someone's probably going to be like, wow, what about Pokemon Legends ZA? That is going to be something that will be later shown off this month with the whole Pokemon Presents thing. Pokemon doesn't really like to be a part of these directs anymore. Game Freak, they like to do their own thing. So in that Pokemon Presents, we'll see Legends ZA. The Direct will end with one of those three games. That is my prediction. Now guys, did I have way too much high expectations for this Nintendo Direct? I think this is gonna be a good Direct. The reason why I'm saying it, like I said, I think they're gonna throw all their cards on the table of what's to come for the Nintendo Switch in the year of 2025. I don't think they really are going to want to promote any of these games when, you know, the upcoming Directs are gonna be promoting the Switch too heavy. At least that's kind of what happened back in 2017 when the Nintendo Switch dropped. They showed the 3DS a little bit, but in those Directs, they heavily focused on the Switch. I think the first couple Directs were only Nintendo Directs, and then later in the year, they started showing the 3DS a part of the Switch Directs, if that makes sense, where it was like Switch themed, and then I want to say it was September of that year is when they started talking about the 3DS again in those Directs. Everything after the Switch came out, it was just fully Nintendo Switch themed Directs. I think that's what's going to happen. We'll see though. We'll see. I could be wrong, and you know, Nintendo might not want to do a repeat. The Switch could die this year for all I know. I don't know. I might just have the tinfoil hat and I'm going crazy. With that being said though, I want to know your guys' predictions. What are you expecting for this Nintendo Direct? What do you want to happen in this Nintendo Direct? Have some expectations. Don't say Switch 2 stuff. That's going to be a separate video down the road. We're talking about February Nintendo Direct, focused solely only on the Nintendo Switch. I want to hear it. Either it's third party, first party. I want to hear every prediction you guys got. Let me know what you think of my predictions. Do you think there's anything that I was like, oh, you know what, Max, that has a point right there. That bro knows what he's talking about. Or Max, you're an idiot. Why would you suggest that? That will never happen in a million years. What is wrong with you? I want to hear all of it in the comments down below. Guys, I have been talking for way too much. Make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out the channel. Seriously, we have a giant announcement coming next month. I can't wait to tell you guys. It's going to be huge. Become a Monado Marine, $5 a month. Follow the Twitter, Discord in the description, Instagram, P.O. Box, all that good stuff. Guys, this announcement, I'm telling y'all, this is going to be the biggest announcement on the channel, and it's dropping next month. And guess what? It's not just one giant announcement, it's 2 giant announcements. I'm sorry, guys. I got to continue hyping you all up for this announcement because it is a very big deal. I will see you guys in the next one. This Nintendo Direct, I have high expectations for it. And hopefully it happens either next week or the week after. Or actually, I hope it doesn't happen the week after because I go to New York City. It's going to be awkward making videos on the way to New York City. Okay, Nintendo, please, just if you're watching this video, think about my schedule, please, when it comes to this, because I don't want to be on the road to New York City and then I have to pull over, make a video in the middle of nowhere talking about the Direct. That would probably be funny for you guys. Y'all would probably think that's funny, but to me, that's not funny. That's going to be rough. That's also, you guys don't want that. I don't want to be in the middle of the road, in the middle of the highway, just talking about the Nintendo Direct. Imagine we're just on the highway, we got to pull over, and I'm just out there in the road. Not on the road, but you know what I mean. That's probably what's going to happen, isn't it? Because these Directs in February always happen at the worst time for me. But this is like the first time it might be at a good time. Please be at a good time. I'm still talking. I just need to, I'm done.